Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm 1 week away from Thanksgiving, so, I'm getting ready to get stuffed.
Yeah?
You're going to have turkey, you think? And
Yeah.
like taters and
Oh, of
stuff.
course.
Man, I can't wait. Got 1 week. Doggone it. Coming up later in the program today, we're going to talk with Art Markman about a book he's got called Brain Briefs. And I'm actually excited to chat about this. I've got a copy of the book. It looks really neat. Haven't had a chance to read it all yet. I'm going to skim through it a little bit before I talk to him, but neat stuff. Hey, did you know this? An extensive study finds that American parents have stopped spanking their kids as much as they once did. You know why that is?
Why?
Because kids have lawyered up.
Yeah. That's true.
Honestly,
There's a lot of truth to that.
Shouldn't joke
actually.
about that, but that's part of it. No, when I was a kid, if I did something wrong, we got a spanking.
Oh, yeah. So did I.
You ever get spankings, Heidi?
Yeah.
How many spankings did you get?
I really didn't get very many because I learned when I was young
I got spanking after
that I better
spanking after
behave.
spanking. Let's put it this
All
way.
my mother had to do was give me the look.
I-
She looked at me and I knew, oh.
Everyone understands when I say this. I was a slow learner. I think I have calluses on my tush.
I waited to misbehave till I was in high school and I was too old to spank.
Oh, there you go. Coming up, we got some special things today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, it's Thursday, November the 17th. Like I said, 1 week to go until Thanksgiving. So today is Great American Smokeout Day. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I thought it was tomorrow, but apparently it's today. It is Homemade Bread Day, National Unfriend Day. So if there's somebody that you want to unfriend in real life or on Facebook, today's the day to do it. It is Petroleum Day. It is Beaujolais Nuevo Day.
I have no clue what that is.
I probably didn't get it right anyway. And it's World Prematurity Awareness Day. So a lot of stuff going on today. Homemade Bread Day sounds like a good one to celebrate, though, doesn't it?
I love homemade bread.
Oh, my goodness. So do I. And like
I
when you
pretty much just love bread.
homemade bread, store-made bread, any made bread. She loves bread so much. There was some bread that had mold on it. She cut the mold off and still ate the bread. I was like, are you kidding me?
It's just mold.
You're like, it's only moldy on that side. I was like, oh, did you get this out of a dumpster? What are you doing? I'm not eating that. You can keep your mold bread. All right. Anyway, today's a special day. Have some homemade bread on this Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Would you like to lose weight? You could wait till New Year's to make a resolution, but most people that do that are done with them in a few weeks. No, they don't hit their goal. They just give up. If you struggle to keep your weight where you'd like it, maybe you should consider hypnosis. Many people have amazing results with hypnosis, and it's not as expensive as you think. We have a special weight loss hypnosis program for just $60 at radiosavings.com. Hypnosis can help reduce the cravings that cause you to overeat. Learn more about this special hypnosis weight loss system from Extreme Power Hypnosis at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A rabbit saves the lives of two people. Yeah.
What?
Port Byron, Illinois, Ed Murphy, not Eddie Murphy, the star, but a guy named Ed Murphy, says his $10 pet rabbit just saved the life of his pregnant wife. Apparently, one night, the bunny was unusually noisy and started thumping and banging and jumping up and down in the cage. They tried to ignore it, but even putting pillows around the cage to act as a noise buffer didn't help. The furry friend would not let them get back to sleep. That's when they noticed his pregnant wife, who he thought was just sleeping heavily, was in fact in trouble. Her eyes were wide open and glazed over. He called 911. Doctors determined that she had gestational diabetes and had a hypoglycemic coma. She stayed in the hospital for 5 days, but it's thought that she's going to be just fine, all thanks to some noisy little bunny. So some bunny has to be pretty thankful about that. So I wonder what the bunny's name is. It doesn't have that in the story.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because if his name is Thumper or whatever, I don't know. His name now is Hero. That's what his name is, Hero. Yeah, this guy was trying to get to sleep, and he's telling his bunny to be quiet, and it turns out the bunny was alerting him that his fiancée or his wife, what was it, his wife, pregnant wife, was not doing too hot. So that's pretty darn cool.
That is pretty cool.
Animals are interesting like that. there are times where I haven't felt very good. Like I wasn't sick to the point where I was like sick, but I just didn't feel very good. I was like really tired. And I'll sit down on the sofa and our dogs will come over and they're like, they never come and snuggle with me, but like they'll come, especially Miley. Like she can tell that I'm not feeling well. She comes over and is like, hey, it's okay.
Really?
Yeah, I'll snuggle with you. It's going to be all right, Dad. So there you go. Anyway, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Boy, I had a whole plethora of stories I could have used for this one today, but it pays to know the mayor, might even keep you out of jail. Wayne Geary was out selling drugs on a street corner in southeast part of town when a big car pulled up and the woman in the back seat rolled on her window. Wayne immediately rushed up and asked if she was looking for a deal. Guess he didn't recognize her. It was the mayor who was driving around the area to take part in a neighborhood cleanup effort to rid the area of drug dealers, which he was one of, and he has been arrested. So there you go. Might have helped if he would have known that she was the mayor. Then he wouldn't have said, hey, looking to score some drugs?
Wow. Interesting.
No. But how about you step into the vehicle here? We're going to give you a ride downtown. So there you go. Like I said, I have a couple of stories that could have been the brain on drugs story. So I have one that's going to be hold over for the moment of duh. So we'll get to that here in a bit. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about on this Thursday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. We're going to start in China. In China, a man smashed up 2 ATMs while completely schnockered. He was quite intoxicated. He told police that he was angry because the displayed time on the screen didn't match the one that was on his mobile phone. So he banged up and beat up a couple of ATMs and got himself arrested for that.
You suppose they're still called ATMs in China?
I don't know.
I wonder how you say that.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure it doesn't say ATM on it.
I'm sure.
It's probably got, Chinese letters. But whatever their letters are, he banged it up either way.
I'd like to hear them pronounce that.
Got another story here. Headline is just a perfect headline. Man arrested for ramen noodle attack. I mean,
what?
How could you possibly skip that? I had to throw that one in here. A Florida man was arrested for domestic battery after attacking his live-in boyfriend with a cup of ramen noodles. So you got that going on.
There you go.
So, I don't know exactly how to respond to that. He attacked his live-in boyfriend with a cup of ramen noodles. There you go. That happened in Florida. Coming up, we've got your Scoop of the Day.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your Scoop of the Day. Google. These guys are into everything, aren't they? Now they got
seem to be.
Google phones and Google. You can search for stuff on their website.
Crazy.
Maybe some other stuff.
All those newfangled inventions.
Well, they got a new one. It's an app that will make it easy to digitize your old family photos. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Here's my question, though. Do you think people will actually do it, or will they get this app and just leave it like in the back corner of the closet? I got an app that someday I'm going to get around to doing something with that. Hey, your hybrid. We don't have a hybrid, but there are people that do have electric and hybrid vehicles. They can be eerily quiet at low speeds, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration thinks that that's a safety problem. So, starting in 2019, they're going to require all new electric and hybrid light-duty vehicles
Oh, my goodness.
to make noises at speeds below 19 miles an hour to alert pedestrians they are here. Can I be on the panel of people who get to pick the noise?
I want to get to pick the noise.
I want to pick the noise. What would your noise sound like?
It would sound like somebody just let a balloon go.
See, mine was going to be more of like a meep, 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 meep. Just like a little thing that would beep. I wonder if you could pick
Maybe
your
a
own
horn.
noise.
That's what their horn does sound
They
like.
should have it where you can pick a ringtone. You should pick your own noise. Oh. That would be awesome. If you can do that, I'm buying a hybrid. I'm just saying. I'm throwing that out there. Hey, this is kind of a sad story, but also kind of an interesting story. A 90-year-old man on Prince Edward Island in Canada has been digging for a living for most of his life, mostly trenches for sewer mains and underground utility wires. But Jimmy Kickman says, I love digging. You could just say he
Alrighty.
digs it, Heidi.
He digs digging.
So it should come as no surprise that he decided to dig his own grave. What?
That's a little morbid.
He said, I'm not expecting to die anytime soon. It's just that one day I was digging graves and I figured, hey, I've lived to be 90. I might as well dig my own. So he turns 90 this week and dug himself a grave for his 90th birthday. That just seems really weird to me.
Like in his own yard, or where did he dig this grave?
I have no clue. If he's in his own yard, he might fall into it and get to use it sooner. I have no idea where he dug the hole.
Huh.
Listen to this wedding. A Nigerian oil billionaire. Okay, we're going to pause right there. First of all, I didn't even know that was a real thing. I thought they were all princes there. I get emails from Nigerian princes. Never once an oil baron. So Nigerian oil billionaire took his brother's wedding reception to a whole new level. I mean, this makes the Kardashians look like trailer trash.
All right.
Then again, they do most of that on their own. A video has emerged showing stacks of money being shot out of a gold-plated spray gun. This really happened. You can see the video on our Facebook page. The video shows guests at the reception being showered with cash. The bride and the groom are seen dancing as money falls all around them, while guests are seen gathering cash from the floor around them.
Wow.
So one
I never
way,
get invited to weddings like that.
I know. I'm like, last wedding I went to, you know what we had? Cold ham sandwiches. Or maybe that was a funeral. Then again, it's so hard to tell the difference these days.
That's a funeral.
Hey, let's move back to this. Wyoming. They have a bookstore there that I think is actually kind of clever. A Wyoming bookstore has banned Wi-Fi and electronics of any kind. So they don't have Wi-Fi in their store. And there's a sign at the door in the Wind City Books that says, take a break, live like it's 1993, emails can wait. Because they would have people come into their bookstore and spend all of their time on their phone reading other stuff. Meanwhile, they're surrounded by books. I thought that was kind of an interesting story. Heidi apparently didn't think so. And this just in, Heidi. Beep, 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 beep. Ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been named the sexiest man alive for 2016. Beep, beep,
Really?
beep, beep, beep. Yeah, that was from People magazine. Narrowly beat me once again. So I came in second
Every
place.
year.
You know what? I've never ever even come in close to sexiest man alive. Are you kidding me? No. Chubbiest man alive. Not quite. I'm sure there's
No.
people more chubbier than I am. And probably can speak more better grammar than me, too.
I was going to say that wasn't accurate, but
I know. Let's move on before I sound like an idiot. Too late. We got a guest coming up here in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
We just wrapped up one of the most contentious elections in the history of our nation. Some are excited about the outcome, others not so excited. We want to remind you that we're still one nation, under God, indivisible. We've made it through many things, and we'll make it through this too. Let's do it together. At PoliticalStorm.com, we've been covering this election from both sides, and we want to thank the many contributors that have helped make that possible. We also invite you to become a contributor too with a free blog. Let's share all of the reasons to come together and unify as a nation. Share your voice at PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now. We have Art Markman. He is one of the authors of a new book called Brain Briefs. First of all, let's say hello to Art. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Very good. And I'm excited to chat with you. Art Markman and Bob Duke, they're hosts of a really popular program, Two Guys on Your Head, and they've got this book that they worked on together as well called Brain Briefs, Answers to the Most and Least Pressing Questions About Your Mind. How long did it take to put this book together? It's a nice book.
Thanks so much. You know, luckily, I like to fill blank pages, and Bob likes to edit. And so the book did not take as long as we feared it might, because I just love to get stuff out there. And then, you know, the old joke, how do you make a statue of a dinosaur? You take a block of marble and you cut away everything that doesn't look like a dinosaur. I create blocks of marble, and then Bob cuts away everything that doesn't look like a good chapter. And
There
so,
you go.
it works really well.
Now, the idea for the book, Brain Briefs, let's talk about, first of all, why is it that you guys decided, hey, we need to do a book about this?
Well, we've been doing this radio show out of Austin, Texas for about 3.5 years, Two Guys on Your Head, and it's just been an absolute joy to do. And one of the things about minds is almost everybody has one, and almost nobody knows how it works.
Exactly.
And so what's happened is just having these random conversations that we have about a variety of topics, some of them really serious, like, how can I make myself happier? How can I be more effective at the things I do in my life? Some less serious, like, why do I love kitten videos so much? That we get such a great reaction from people from that, because they're just endlessly fascinated about what the science of psychology has to say about their everyday lives, that we felt like, well, the radio show was reaching a certain audience, but, it'd be awfully nice to have other ways of getting at people, and a book seemed like a great way to do it.
Well, the book is really cool. Brain Briefs is the name of the book, answers to the most and least pressing questions about your mind. So let's talk about some of the questions. Like, one of the things that I always wonder is, as I'm getting older, it seems like time goes way faster. Why does it seem that time speeds up as we get older?
Yeah, everyone has this experience, and there's several things that are going on there. One of them is that the way that our perception of time works when you look back at time is, do you have particular landmarks that you remember? And early in your life, everything is new, so everything is a landmark. You've changed schools, you've had different teachers, you may have moved a few times with your parents. And then as you get older, you kind of get into a routine where you get a job and you go to that job every day and you do some of the same kinds of things. And now there are fewer and fewer landmarks. And so you look back over a period of time, and it's really hard to tell the difference between something that happened 5 years ago and something that happened last year. So that's part of it. And of course, the other part of it is just the percentage issue. When you're 8 years old, 2 years is a quarter of your life. But if you're 50, those 2 years is a much smaller percentage of your life. And so now that 2-year period just really doesn't feel like it's as long an amount of time.
No, that makes perfect sense. Again, visiting right now with one of the authors of a book called Brain Briefs, we have Art Markman on the line with us right now. Now, is it a good idea to do like the crossword puzzles and other brain games? Is it a good idea to do that? Does that actually help?
Well, I think there's two ways to answer the question. Is it a good idea? One is, are you having fun doing it? So I am a crossword puzzle geek. Love to do crossword puzzles, and I've gotten pretty good at crossword puzzles. Now, the question is, has that made me better at anything else? And the answer to that question is probably not. The stuff that makes us good at things in general is really engaging with knowledge. So reading a new book that you hadn't considered before, listening to a radio program that's talking about things that you hadn't encountered, having a great conversation with a friend where you really get some new knowledge, because knowledge is really at the core of the most effective thinking. And so these games can be fun, but don't convince yourself that by playing these games you're actually making yourself a smarter person overall.
So one of the ways to make yourself smarter, you said, is to read a book. Well, let's talk about a book that they could read if they wanted to. Your book, Brain Briefs. Where can we find a copy of this book? Is it out right now, and can we buy it right now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's out now. It's available wherever books are sold, Barnes & Noble. It's available on Amazon. And so, yeah, please check it out and check out the podcast as well, which is on iTunes and Stitcher and all those great venues.
And the podcast is called Two Guys on Your Head. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. I'll have to check that out. And then, again, the book is called Brain Briefs, Answers to the Most and Least Pressing Questions About Your Mind. Our guest today has been one of the authors, Art Markman, and he's got another co-author, Bob Duke, and both PhDs, very smart guys, and it's a very fun book. One of the things I like, in the information here, it says it's science served up in fun, bite-sized parts and bite-sized bits. I love that, because for me personally, when I have time to read, it's not going to be 2 hours at a time. It's going to be while I'm waiting for somebody and I've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So I love the fact that this is put together in a way where you don't have to sit down and read this over the course of a whole weekend, do you?
No, absolutely not. The book is organized around 40 kinds of questions that people ask, and they're really designed to give you a 10, 12-minute bite of something that you can really dig into, precisely for that reason. You know, we're all busy, and so asking people to make a commitment of 2 hours, 4 hours just to learn a particular thing is a little bit much. And so we felt like, look, let's get you something where you can actually get up to speed on something that you may not have heard of before in a shorter period of time. And that was an exciting thing for us to be able to do.
Well, thank you for doing that. I think it's going to be very wildly successful. The book is called Brain Briefs, Answers to the Most and Least Pressing Questions About Your Mind. Our guest today, one of the authors, Art Markman. Art, thanks again.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time to introduce this to your listeners. It's just great talking with you.
It's been a lot of fun to visit with you as well. The book is available right now, Brain Briefs, and thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shape.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
You're lacking chains and you feel no pain. Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Bingham Canyon Copper Mine in Utah is the biggest man-made hole on Earth. It can be seen from outer space without using a telescope, just with your bare eyes.
Really?
Yeah, it is more than a half a mile deep and 2.5 miles across. That's
Really?
a big hole.
That's
a giant hole.
Very big hole.
It is. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi. See how I'm moving on? Because I see the smirk on your face, and I know that you got a zinger that I can't let go on the air. Your feet sweat as much as 8 ounces of moisture each day.
Ew.
There are approximately 250,000 sweat glands in your feet, for those of you who care. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you lace your shoes from the inside to the outside, the fit will be snugger around your big toe. So there you go. If you're lacing your shoes, maybe we've been doing it wrong all this time. I don't know. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There is a Leaning Tower of Pisa replica in Chicago. In 1931, an industrialist named Robert LLG, I don't know if that's I don't know what that is. Anyway, built a half-size replica of the Leaning Tower of Pisa outside Chicago and lived in it for several years. The tower is still there. So, not exactly sure why you would do that, but there you go. That's what he did.
And why build one half size? If you're going to do it,
Yeah,
do
come
it
on.
right.
Do it. Thanks for listening. You got a couple of fun facts on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
This is the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. When you join, you'll be giving them the set of numbers that you want them to play, and that's what they will play for you. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that's RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. I might have already mentioned this once, but we've got Thanksgiving 1 week from today.
We do.
So I have some holiday eating tips. It is possible to enjoy the holiday feast without having to diet later if you maybe take care of a couple of these little tips ahead of time. Weight loss expert Dr. Donald Robertson offers the following advice on how to keep the pounds off over the holidays. You ready for that?
Sure.
Drink lots of water. He says 2 or 3 quarts of water a day is not too much. It helps kill the hunger pains and keeps your body functioning properly.
There you
I
go.
get plenty of water, but it's usually, mixed in with like coffee and
Creamer.
beer, other
Gallons
stuff.
of creamer.
Next on his list, don't go to holiday parties hungry. Always eat something before you go out. Otherwise, you're going to eat all kinds of stuff that you shouldn't eat.
You're going to anyway. So
maybe.
why take in the extra calories before you go?
Because then you eat something good before you go. And then all of that bad food has something soft to land on, I think. Next, be careful at holiday buffets. Survey the buffet first to see what's available, then pick the healthiest items first, like fresh
Yeah,
veggies.
because that's what everybody does.
Who's writing this list? Come on. Let me tell you how to do it. Grab 2 plates. That's how you do it. Next, the best beverage is bottled water with lime. But if you must drink, he suggests a wine spritzer. half white wine, half club soda. I bet this guy doesn't get invited to many parties.
He sounds like a barrel of fun.
Next one, avoid eggnog. Oh, come on. Next one is eat white meat turkey. It's healthier than dark meat turkey.
Well, that's the first thing I agree with on this whole list.
Keep in mind that a lot of prepackaged holiday foods are packed with sugar, even though they say non-fat on the label. Read the package carefully. And the final tip from this buzzkill list from Dr. Donald, I'm better than you, Robertson, says, when you do indulge, keep moving. Exercise is essential for weight maintenance, and it also boosts energy levels. A brisk 20-minute walk 3 to 4 times a week can make a real difference. Yeah, I'm sure it can. 20-minute walk 3 or 4 times a week? What do I look like? An exercise mogul? I don't think so. I'm going to just sit right here on my butt and tell other people what to do, and I'm not going to lose weight. So, okay, maybe I should take his advice.
Maybe just a little.
I think I strained myself just reading that page there. That's not a good thing. These are some holiday eating tips from Dr. Donald Robertson.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you ever call your employees at home? If you're the boss and you're doing that, you need to stop. I mean, stop. As a matter of fact, under Britain's Human Rights Act, telephone calls made to employees at home could actually get you in trouble. It's an invasion of privacy. So they're saying that if you are one of those people, one of those bosses who likes to call and pester people at home, quit doing that. The law might also include how the boss looks over your shoulder while you're at the office.
Wow.
That is called unauthorized monitoring.
Oh, wow.
So this is in England. If the boss monitors your calls and emails, that is too covered by human rights laws, even when the employer suspects that you may be using this as a resource for personal things. So they're saying that
is a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. So
if it's the company's
I agree with
if it's the company's, especially if it's the company's email address.
Yeah, I understand that. I agree with that one, but I don't agree with.
And the website usage?
No.
I mean, you should be able to monitor what your
I
employees
agree with
are doing.
those.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it's out of line for them. If they're going to call you at home, they should get in trouble for that.
What if you need to call them at home?
I'll be there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock if I feel like it. Come on, I have rights too, you know.
What if you're calling to say, hey, the office burned down, don't bother coming in to work
I'll find out when I get to the molding rubble. I mean, leave me alone. It's Saturday. All right, coming up, we got something else. I don't know what else. Something else, because we need to change the subject quick. I got a feeling she's gonna win this argument if we stay on this one. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Have you ever thought of this? Do rich people think they are rich? Some might think they are rich. There are some people who are most likely rich, but they don't even realize that they're rich. But I got a feeling if you're eating this, you probably know you're rich.
If you're eating this?
Yeah. A restaurant in Dusseldorf has put gold-covered sausages on the menu.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Restaurant owner claims eating gold is healthy. In addition to traditional tomato sauce and curry powder, the sausage comes with a piece of 18-karat gold leaf on the skin, and diners at Curry Restaurant pay handsomely to get it. How much, or it says, how can it be healthy? That's the question that I couldn't read. Well, according to the restaurant manager, it has been done in Greece for hundreds of years. One of our customers always brought in his own gold and asked us to cover his food with it. That is how we got the idea. Restaurant manager also suggests ordering the gold-covered sausage for somebody instead of flowers if you love them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Heidi, you never, ever order me golden-covered food.
No, and I will never order you golden-covered food.
Chicken nuggets are kind of gold-colored, so we'll go with that. Coming up, we got some job scams. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
We just wrapped up one of the most contentious elections in the history of our nation. Some are excited about the outcome, others not so excited. We want to remind you that we're still one nation, under God, indivisible. We've made it through many things, and we'll make it through this too. Let's do it together. At PoliticalStorm.com, we've been covering this election from both sides, and we want to thank the many contributors that have helped make that possible. We also invite you to become a contributor too with a free blog. Let's share all of the reasons to come together and unify as a nation. Share your voice at PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
We talked about this earlier. Today is the Great American Smokeout. I thought it was actually tomorrow, but according to our thing earlier today, it said it's today. But the first Great American Smokeout occurred on November 18th, 1976, when about 1 million smokers quit for the day with the help of the American Cancer Society in California. They took the program nationwide 1 year later in 1977, and it has helped millions of people become smoke-free over the last however many years that is. What would that be? 39 years.
Sure.
40 years, I guess, because, 40 years since 1976. So smokers today have a lot of tools. There's a lot of ways to quit. If you're a smoker, and maybe you don't want to be a smoker, but you're going, I can't quit. I've tried and it doesn't work. Well, have you tried nicotine replacement therapy? Telephone and online-based support and counseling programs. Quit smoking programs and support groups. And there's even prescription drugs. And there's another one. I actually know a guy that does hypnosis to help you quit smoking. So if you need some help with any of that, reach out. I'll gladly do whatever I can to be a resource to help you. Research shows that nearly 70% of smokers want to quit. And I've got a timeline of quitting, 20 minutes. Your heart rate and your blood pressure starts dropping 20 minutes after you quit smoking. 12 hours, the carbon monoxide level in your blood starts to drop and gets closer to normal. 2 weeks to 3 months, circulation improves and lung functions increase. 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath decrease. So you kind of get back to normal again. 1 year later, the excess risk of coronary heart disease is reduced by half. 5 years later, risk of cancer of the mouth, throat, and esophagus and bladder are also cut in half. Stroke risk also falls to that of a non-smoker after 2 to 5 years of not smoking. 10 years later, the risk of dying from lung cancer is about half of a person who's still smoking, and your risk of cancer of the larynx, that's your voice box, and pancreas, that decreases as well. And then finally, 15 years, the risk of coronary heart disease goes back to what it would be if you had never been a smoker at all, to like a non-smoker.
There you go.
If you'd like to know more, cancer.org/smokeout. They've got all the details on this. I think that's really a cool thing.
It is a cool
So
thing.
if you're looking for help and you want some help to quit smoking, today would be a good day. It's, again, the Great American Smokeout. Cancer.org/smokeout.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. I think this is good news.
All right.
And I had to ask if we had already read this, because I read this a little while ago, but I don't think we talked about it on the air. But I remember thinking how cool it was. The British Army's elite SAS troops are going through a new sort of training to help them not blow their cover during top secret operations. You know what it is?
What's that?
They're being trained to not snore. The need for such training comes after teams of soldiers were hiding out in the Colombian jungle as part of a move to combat cocaine smugglers. One of the soldiers dozed off and started snoring, and it blew their cover. So the SAS chief ordered the snorer to undergo hypnosis to cure him. Now other soldiers in the regiment are being trained to not snore as well, and being ordered to alter their sleeping positions. If that fails, surgeons can carry out a small throat operation to make the snoring go away as well. I think it's really cool that I had no clue that you could use hypnosis to quit
I didn't
snoring.
know that either.
Because I know you can quit smoking with hypnosis. You can lose weight with hypnosis,
Yeah.
but now you can quit snoring too.
That's insane.
I mean,
I've never heard of that before.
nor have I. I think that's really cool, though. So anyway, the British Army elite SAS troops. What does
We
SAS
should both
stand
check
for?
into that.
What's that?
The whole hypnosis for snoring.
Why do I snore?
So do I. I've woken myself
I was
up.
just going to say, I snore so loud, I wake myself up once in a while. What was that? It sounded like somebody had a chainsaw in the closet. Oh, it was me? Woo. So, yeah, I think it's kind of funny. My snoring, you've said if I'm not home, it actually bothers you if I don't snore. Like if I'm not there.
Well, I'm used to it.
Well, we've been married a long time, so...
Yeah.
If I quit snoring all of a sudden, how would that work for you? Would that be okay?
Well, I would still be able to hear you breathing.
Okay. Well, because I breathe loud too. I'm just a mutant. Well, that was our good news for the day. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.